This is great perspective in light of what's happening with the SEC. Shout out to Dip Metaverse. He's probably one of the top guys you should follow if you're really into Jasmy. Okay. He's been bringing it for longer than I have, probably a year, maybe 2 before I have. So he says, Jasmy investors, some thoughts over the last 48 hours. Listen to this. Pay attention to this. This is good stuff. To those outside the U.S., he's sorry our inept regulatory bodies are purposely trying to destroy the crypto market. That's literally what's going on. He thinks the wealthy powers that may want to still control money in our world are basically bleeding regular people out in crypto. And it might be what the SEC is attempting to do, right? A lot of people feel as though that's what they're not just attempting to do. They've been doing it for the longest time. I feel as though that we're soon going to get a Ripple victory, right? And this is just like, a way of like retaliation, let's face it, like you could call it a war between crypto and the SEC and so on. It's like, we're going to lose. Okay. Well, Eric Gensler, what do you want to do with all this? Let's just set it all on fire, Could that be the case? Like it says, who knows? But it says, look at this. Maybe they're giving Wall Street an opportunity to buy the dip. I think you've seen that. They are buying the dip. Pay attention to what's going on the whale charts and stuff like that, right? Some of you guys follow whale activity. We have seen some of those things. I didn't have any that was recent, but maybe by tomorrow we can show you guys what's going on with some of that whale activity. Wall Street firms are hiring for digital asset specialists and setting up trading desks for crypto. It wouldn't be necessary if crypto was going away or if Bitcoin was going to only be the only game in town. They're not, right? We understand there's stocks and so on. Actions speak much more louder than words. The U.S. is stifling innovation because it wants control. And that is such a shame. We're supposed to be the country. It's not about control, but you see that, right? And of course, let's face it, for a lot of people, they're big BTC proponents for just, being a BTC maxi and so on. This is the fuel for their debate of, Bitcoin is freedom. You know how many times you heard that? Well, I'd rather be more diversified, but for people that are literally seeing the crypto world be set on fire, this drives what, guys? More of that, those type of investors to BTC, and that's going to happen. Now, I will state this. Some people feel as though that's bad. I'd rather see more people getting altcoins. No, that's not bad. That's great. Why is it great? Well, we're talking about Jasmy, right? Jasmy runs a correlation with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So as more and more people buy more and more BTC, it is a win for us, even if they are Bitcoin maxis. You better believe that helps with the overall crypto market because that still represents about 80 to 81% of the overall market. A win for BTC is a win for us who hold these assets, especially built on Ethereum and so on. Another theory, like it says, or let me get to this part above it. Sorry. So U.S. stifling innovation, that happened. He says he feels as though it's hard to believe that the U.S. would just let China, who is warming up to crypto, be the largest player in crypto. Right. Or how about, like what Crypto Hulk mentioned earlier, that one bank in Russia, how they're opening the doors while we're shutting the doors. Don't you find that incredibly interesting? Again, part of my perspective. Another theory, crypto could be used as a debate topic in the 2024 presidential race. I have said numerous times, I feel as though it might not happen in the next, actually it probably won't. But at some point, I said numerous times, I feel as though at some point it just makes sense that after we get over this whole problem that we have with the adoption of crypto and so on, you're going to see through innovation, whether it's our country or other countries, basically doing what? They're going to put the voting system on blockchain. Why would they do that? Because they don't want it to be corrupted. They don't want it to be manipulated. Whether we're a fan of either side, you're Democrat, Republican, and so on, I think for the most part, we don't want to see either side try to make claims, whether they're valid or not, that they're, messing with election results, right? We don't want that. We want real, true elected officials. At least I do. I'm still all about, recognizing that we need a true proper republic, right? At the end of the day, people say, we're a democratic we're a democracy. No, we're technically supposed to be a republic, right? There is a difference. So my thing is this: I want to see something like this in the future. I want to see your voting system on blockchain, but not to the point where we have, bigger players, right? Who are the puppet masters, right? Again, we need some of that clarity. So this part is somewhat valid, but look what it says. Trump has outright said he's against crypto, which gives Biden an easy opportunity. I don't agree with this part personally. I don't think he's necessarily anti-crypto, but teaches on, which gives Biden an easy opportunity to say he supports crypto, and that could help him gain lots of votes. The SEC keeps your coins from pumping as high as they should with these lawsuits, which makes you less wealthy and more likely to be reliant on the government, and you're forced to vote accordingly. Wendy O, on her show earlier, her recorded video, she pointed out some of these things. And one of the things she mentioned was basically, you are basically suppressing entrepreneurial spirit and so on, right? You're literally wrecking entrepreneurs. We're all entrepreneurs, right? You don't have to be majored in entrepreneurship and so on. We are all entrepreneurs. We see the bigger picture, right? So SEC is definitely suppressing that. There's a reason why Gensler never went after FTX. Yeah, think about that for a second, right? There's a reason for it. How about this? Why didn't Kevin O'Leary publicly just denounce Sam Bankman-Fried? He didn't do that. If anything, he always spoke very highly of Sam Bankman-Fried at every single opportunity he had to do so, right? And that was incredibly annoying, at least in my opinion. And just downright, just awful. And I lost a lot of respect for him. But look what it says here. Just wait for when they start attacking CZ Binance for being a Chinese Canadian. That's when you know they are desperate, and you'll know which side of the media is peddling that garbage. Sorry for getting political, but it starts to feel like all of the news you've been getting and events that have been taking place over the last few years feel staged, right? Whether you agree with that or not. He thinks Coinbase will win. Coinbase sought the SEC's help before, but didn't get any guidance, right? Ineptitude. Maybe this is an ongoing thing like XRP lawsuit that is allegedly going to be decided soon. But believe it. We'll believe it when we see it. Right, we will. Either way, he thinks there's a long line of people who want to beat the SEC for being as crooked as they are. Gensler's term ends in 2026, and it would be a hell, it'll be quite the ride, right? We're going to go through hell in regards to that. The crypto money laundering narrative Elizabeth Warren has been spreading is so far from the truth. It says that's fiat. It says, for instance, she's desperate. Don't forget this woman who lied about being more Native American than she was to make a point. She even blamed crypto for the failure of SVB, right? Silicon Valley Bank. We know about the story, right? But it says she's an unsuccessful politician, and this time will be no different. She will lose. And knowing that, she doesn't really truly understand the concept of, distributed ledger technology, blockchain, and so on. She just focuses on, like what she mentioned in that MSNBC interview, right? It just doesn't make any sense. She simply doesn't get it. It says, don't forget, governments want you to be poor, so you rely on them. Over the past few years, crazy conspiracy theorists about things like the U.S. has done to its people have been true and somewhat close. Surprisingly, Elon Musk buying Twitter allowed for the other side that was suppressed in the previous regime to actually speak, right? Talking about, he's pro First Amendment. He is. There's always an underlying reason why the government, not just the U.S. government, does something and doesn't tell its people the truth. This attack won't go away. The funny thing is they have congressmen committing insider trading on a regular basis, but the SEC hasn't done anything about that. Right. They're not going to go after those people because Gary Gensler and the SEC represent what? The special interest of just that. Those people. They're off limits. Right? He's literally their puppet. They are the puppet masters. Gary cannot win. He's a beady-eyed weasel. He is. We call him a gopher for a reason. Who is delusional in thinking he's protecting investors. Some projects do not have a place in our world, but he'd rather just say all projects are bad. and kill it all, to the exception of Bitcoin. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it's very, very like peculiar, to say the least, right? It's about keeping people poor and relying on the US dollar. Think about it for a minute. If you look at the bigger picture, does that make sense? I think it does. Why would you want something like fiat that your home government can just print more of? And you saw them print more of it, right? We had a raise of the debt ceiling. For all these people that said we're never going to get a debt ceiling increase, it's different this time around. You got to wake up. It's not this different time around. It's a Band-Aid that you cover another Band-Aid and another Band-Aid, and you literally just open up the entire box of Band-Aid, and you keep putting more and more Band-Aids on a problem that is now, where are we at now? 34 trillion in national debt. Remember at the beginning of the century, how it was a big deal that we were 8 trillion in debt and how both sides went after each other, Yeah. Democrats went after Republicans. Republicans went after Democrats. But they both do it. They both raise the debt ceiling. All right, so we can't get rid of fiat outright, but we can definitely rely on it a little less. True. The will of the people is always stronger than the government. Don't ever forget that. We are the ones who make the economy go round. They need us, whether it's for votes, money, or to be guinea pigs for any new medications. They need us. If you get rich in this market, you absolutely deserve it. We all absolutely deserve it. Don't forget what you hold. Don't forget the reasons why you hold it. If the research trumps any type of FUD, then understand this. There's another side that wants to scare you out of what you own. Why would they want to do that? Because they will sweep in and basically do what? Accumulate those assets for distressed prices. Cannot stress that enough. You also see that going on in the market. No one can tell you otherwise. We will win. But the ones that are going to win are those, just like you, me, and some of the other guys, that saw that this is not just a journey, it's also a race. It's a marathon. It's like a decathlon, if you will, or, it's a long, long, long race. And there's many who quit this race. But it's the ones that finish the race because they kept what they had and understood there's a bigger picture, right? If you quit, you're never going to get to that finish line. That applies to a lot of things in this world.